It is extremely rare for a school to have a cloister, and effectively unique for a school to have two. Winchester College is extremely fortunate to have two cloisters on its historic campus. One from the time of the school's foundation in 1382, and one that opened in 1924, commemorating the dead of the two world wars. There are so many remarkable things about each of these cloisters, but in this video, I'm going to adopt a comparative approach, looking at what features the cloisters share and what notable differences there are between them. Let's begin with the purpose of the cloisters. Both cloisters are rather peripheral to school life, but this is undoubtedly a good thing. The cloisters seem to be solely decorative, and there is little doubt that both are beautiful. But this is not their only purpose. Both cloisters commemorate the dead. The medieval cloister, through plaques on its walls, such as this one, which commemorates William Adkins, who was, and I quote, as happy in mind as fat in body. And War Cloister commemorates the fallen of the two world wars. Another function that the cloisters share is walking. War Cloister lies on a path that most pupils walk down multiple times each day to go to and from lessons. The medieval cloister is not such a thoroughfare. In fact, it led nowhere when it was built. But it was intended for processions as part of the Sarum rite. Another shared purpose of the two cloisters is education. The medieval cloister, as can be seen by the huge amount of graffiti such as this games board, would have been used for lessons from the very beginning. Boys would sit on the benches around the middle. In fact, the school still calls its summer term cloister time, to reflect that many lessons used to happen in the cloisters, particularly in the summer. War Cloister also has an educational function. Guided tours for pupils in lessons and now also for the public provide an opportunity to learn about the world wars and about the meaning of remembrance. I'll now move on to think about the design of the two cloisters. From the outside, they are both rather plain. This has an extraordinary effect. Upon entering the cloisters, there is a sensory deluge. The contrast between plain on the outside and detailed on the inside is striking in both cloisters. Both cloisters have 9 bays on all 4 sides, with the middle one providing access to the centre of the cloister. Although the medieval cloister is square, War Cloister is not actually, as can be seen clearly here. This is because the shape and orientation of the cloister was decided in part by the land available to build on. The same is true of the medieval cloister, as can be seen here. It is at an odd angle to the rest of the college. Both buildings, like the college itself, have their quirks. The medieval cloister is unique in having a chantry chapel in the centre of it. The names are ordered unusually in War Cloister by someone's year of arrival to Winchester, not, for example, by their date of death. Considering the architectural style, the cloisters have similar oak roofs with stone tiles, and flat outer walls with few doorways. The walls of both cloisters are thick, made of flint and dressed stone. The style of flint work in both cloisters is relatively similar. The flints have not been squared like in many 19th century buildings. Ultimately, however, the styles are different. War Cloister is far lighter and brighter than the medieval cloister because it has classical arches rather than ornate Gothic tracery that blocks the view into the cloister garth. Buttresses of the medieval cloister dominate the inside, particularly in the corners, whereas they do not in War Cloister. In fact, on the south side of War Cloister, there are no buttresses. Another similarity between the two buildings is the fact that they were both built by men that had worked on cloisters previously. William Winford, who designed the medieval cloister, had worked on the cloister of New College, Oxford, of Harry Potter fame previously. And Herbert Baker, architect of War Cloister, had worked on the Blackmore War Memorial Cloister. In my opinion, the greatest success of the War Cloister project is the building's successful relationship with the original medieval buildings of Winchester College. War Cloister does not overshadow the medieval buildings, but it nonetheless does justice to the school's remarkable architectural heritage. Rudyard Kipling described War Cloister as incomparably the best of all the war memorials, and I am inclined to agree with him.